Good evening. This is Daniel Stern, the Netivyah Bible Instruction Ministry, going on air live from Jerusalem. I apologize for the last airing getting cut off. I was in an area with very bad cell phone reception outside of an army base. I wanted to share with you back then that I had, even in this tragedy, it was heartwarming to see the thousands and tens of thousands of Israelis coming together to contribute and donate to the army, to the soldiers, to those called up for reserve duty, who came at a moment's notice with hardly anything with them to serve the country in this time of hardship. Neil from my office and I went to a base in the south and met a platoon of paratroopers and gave them a truck full of equipment that we purchased for them. And thank you all for contributing to that. When we were done, we contacted another unit from the paratroopers, more specialized unit, and asked them what they needed, and then went to another grocery store and purchased once again, restocked, filled the entire car once again with more stuff, and drove to a second army base where the soldiers are preparing to head north or south as needed. As I say, within this tragedy, it was very heartwarming to see the people of Israel unite with this. While we were there shopping, strangers were helping us count and load the stuff we were purchasing. Other people were saying, good job on you, good on you. The soldiers were very appreciative, even though it was very chaotic. And I just once again want to thank you for standing with us and with Israel during this time and allowing us to help fight this war in whatever way that we can. On the news front, there are more than 700 dead, and the numbers will keep rising. There's more than 2,200 wounded. The government has officially confirmed that there are more than 100 Israelis held captive in Gaza. Of course, many of them are dual citizens and have European or U.S. citizenship as well. Many of them are foreign workers, caregivers that were with the women and were with the elderly that they were caring for that were kidnapped. There are, of course, women and children there. The images that I have seen are so disturbing that it is difficult to describe what has happened. I know that I keep saying that, but it's because it still feels like something out of a book, a fantasy, something that's unreal. There's more of an understanding of what happened yesterday. First of all, the Hamas militants were using an older type of communication system that went completely unmonitored by Israel. And secondly, their snipers had shot the cameras of the people watching the fences. Third, they attacked in multiple fronts in over 25 locations simultaneously. Fourth, one of their central points of attack was the army base responsible for the entire Gaza district. And unfortunately, they were very, very successful in that attack. And the result was that there was very poor communication and a very heavy fog of war in the Gaza district, in the settlements, in all this area, which resulted in the army being crippled. I wish I could say it didn't happen. I wish I could say we did better. But unfortunately, the situation is terrible. I don't know what pictures any of you have seen in this time, but let me, without going into graphic details, I will say that what I've seen is worse than anything that ISIS or the Taliban have ever done. It is inhuman and brutal. And we're going towards a long period of war. This will, without a doubt, include the Northern Front, the Hezbollah. It's only a matter of when and not a matter of if. Already today, the Hezbollah fired mortars at the Har Dov district, the army bases in Har Dov, and in what is uniquely different than usual, they took responsibility for those attacks. Usually, they don't take responsibility and blame Palestinian militants in Lebanon. But today, they took responsibility as a point, to make a statement that they are together in this. So far, the United States President Joe Biden has multiple times gone on air and said that he supports Israel and he supports our right to defend ourselves, and that woe be to any country that gets involved. And while this doesn't sound like much, and I don't know if it is much, it is unique. Usually there's only one, at the most two statements by United States presidents when such events happen. Additionally, a U.S. aircraft carrier is approaching the Mediterranean, the Israel shore, and other ships of war are joining them. Once again, this is not a common thing. It is meant as a deterrence to the Hezbollah and to Iran, but we'll see what happens with that. As I mentioned earlier, reports are that more forces are being sent to the north than are being sent to Gaza. So if that's an indication of anything. By the way, I see that a bunch of you are joining in. Feel free to write comments or questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Probably not on air, but we'll see. It's worth noting that, as I've been mentioning all day, this event is not over. There are still infiltrations happening. Just half an hour ago, the residents of the city of Sderot have been told to lock themselves in their home, lock themselves in their protected spaces, because there are terrorists running around in the city. This is not over. There are still more than that. There are more settlements with terrorists around. This is... It's not public. It's not on the news. It's not... I'm not here sharing some secret information that only I have access to. It's available for those who look for it, but the public awareness of what's going on is limited. We aren't aware as a public that beyond this crazy massacre, there is also actual conquest of land that has not yet been recaptured. And that all of this is, I hope not, but could very well be a prototype for Hassan Nasrallah, the head of the Hezbollah, who already for months and years has said that the next time they go to war with us, they will capture the Galilee. Again, if you'd asked me a week ago, I would have said that that's just a lot of hot air and a lot of talk, and like usual, whenever we attack the Hamas, they respond with saying that we've opened the gates of hell on them, blah, 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 a lot of hot air. But after yesterday, it's hard to say. Obviously, we believe in Yeshua as a Messiah. We believe in God. He is our watchman on the wall, and he shall never slumber nor sleep. And all things work out for good for those who love the Lord. And we pray comfort on the families of the casualties and the kidnapped. Comfort on the families whose sons and daughters have gone off to the army. Comfort on the wounded. Guidance and wisdom for the government. And all we can do is stand together in prayer and support for Israel. God bless you all. Signing off for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Daniel Stern, Netivyah.